Merry Meet and welcome to Psalmic Saturday here at Ariel's Corner. This is Ariel Gatoga and we are streaming live on YouTube and on Twitch. Moderating today on YouTube is the lovely Heather, and moderating on Twitch is the lovely Dre. Thank you so much, Heather. Thank you so much, Dre. And thank you to everybody for joining us today for this Psalm Spell. We are also having a premiere directly after this at 11 a.m. Pacific on the main YouTube channel. That's the channel that you're on right now if you happen to be watching us on YouTube. But if you're on Twitch, after this, you may want to come on over to YouTube and join us for that premiere. We do tend to have a good time on our premieres. We are here tomorrow for a live stream lecture. And just as a reminder, we don't stream on Mondays. That's our day off. But then we'll be back at 9:45 a.m. Pacific on Tuesday for our weekly tarot class. So I hope you can join us every day that we are here. If you've never worked Psalm Magic before, you can download your own free booklet. And you can find that. It's called How to Work Psalm Magic, and you can find that at arielgatoga.com/psalmbook. arielgatoga.com/psalmbook. And that's free of charge. We have all kinds of other free booklets and free courses as well. And you can go to our website at ariels-corner.com, Ariel's Corner with a hyphen.com to find all of those things. Everything at Ariel's Corner is free of charge. We have a Discord server, and we also have a private Facebook group. If you would like to be part of our community, we'd sure like to have you there. So you can find the links to those things in the footer of my website, ariels-corner.com, Ariel's Corner with a hyphen.com. And we have a shop, and that's at arielscornershop.com, arielscornershop.com. We have psalm books there and all kinds of other witchy stuff, and we make a small commission off of each and every sale. So it is a fun and easy way to give our channel some support if you'd like to do that. If you'd like to give a donation, that's another way to support our channel, and you can do that by going to our PayPal portal at paypal.me/arielgatoga, paypal.me/arielgatoga. If you'd rather use a credit card or something besides PayPal, we have a regular Stripe portal that you can find on the website in the footer, ariels-corner.com, right in the footer. Or if you're on YouTube and you want to give a donation, you could use a super sticker, super chat, or super thanks. We do appreciate your support, but that's not really why we're here. We're here for you, and today we are here for a psalm spell. So let's get going, Ariel. Today we are working Psalm 54. Some traditional uses for Psalm 54 when working Psalm Magic are to get any need met, to overcome negative thought forms, to overcome any enemy, and to reverse evil. So I like the idea of overcoming any negative thought form. So let's use Psalm 54 to overcome any negative thought form. The way we work Psalm Magic is very simple, easy, and effective. We take the psalm that we're working and we speak it out loud once, all the way through without stopping. This is called an incantation. After that incantation is complete, we go back through the psalm, verse by verse, and we consider the hidden occult meanings within each verse. We dig for them, we search for them, we work, and we try to apply whatever it is that we do find to the situation that we brought to the psalm. That's how we work the magic, because those little occult meanings are as magic seeds. And by working this way, we are planting those seeds that we find in the Psalms into the depths of our deep mind, where they, in a very real way, take root. They grow, they blossom forth, and then they bear fruit after their kind. And that's exactly what we're going to do together right now with Psalm 54. Save me, O God, by thy name, and judge me by thy strength. Hear my prayer, O God, give ear to the words of my mouth. For strangers are risen up against me, and oppressors seek after my soul. They have not set God before them. Selah. Behold, God is mine helper. The Lord is with them that uphold my soul. He shall reward evil unto mine enemies. Cut them off in thy truth. I will freely sacrifice unto thee. I will praise thy name, O Lord, for it is good. For he hath delivered me out of all trouble, and mine eye hath seen his desire upon mine enemies. So, obviously, the enemies that we're talking about here today are our own thought forms, which are wreaking havoc upon our lives. So a thought form is just that. It's a form of thought. And a form that is thought has all power to create manifestation based on the contents of that thought form. So by working like this, by destroying the thought form, we are destroying anything that it is manifesting as well. So you can take any area of your life, and if it's causing you problems, if it feels oppressive, you can know for certain that there's a thought form that is the cause of whatever that circumstance is. And if we apply this magic toward that thought form, then those problems will resolve themselves ultimately. It says, "Save me, O God, by thy name." So the name in the Psalms is the nature. It is what the qualities of something are. So the names of God are the qualities of the divine. So the qualities of the divine that we often work with are infinite spirit, divine life, soul, infinite intelligence, divine truth, perfect love, divine law, divine presence. So those are some qualities that we often work with when we are working magic, and those can be considered the names of God. So, save me, O God, by thy name is actually that, by the qualities the qualities that are divine are the things that will reorient our minds and destroy these thought forms and orient us toward success in those areas that we are having trouble. Judge me by thy strength. Now, strength is Geburah, and that is sphere number 5 on the Tree of Life. That is ruled by Mars and the Archangel Samael in some angelic practices like the one that I work. And so strength is protection. Strength is warrior from these old psalms. And so when it says, "Save me, O God, by thy name, and judge me by thy strength," we want our minds to be judged harshly. Because what happens then is that we're not any longer protecting those thought forms which are causing us problems. And so we want the judgment of God to be very severe in our minds. And when that judgment is severe, that means that it takes no prisoners. And so any little problems that are being caused by our errant thought forms are handled immediately. We don't want to give those thought forms safe harbor. We don't want to give those thought forms our protection. We are saying, come on in and have at it, infinite intelligence. Have at it, strength. Hear my prayer, O God, and give ear to the words of my mouth. Now, it's sort of redundant to say, hear me, God. Give ear to me. Infinite intelligence is always responsive, is always listening. But what this is it's a very clear affirmation that we have to set the ball in motion. It's up to us to initiate the spell. We can't just say, well, why doesn't God take care of this for me? Why doesn't the infinite just do it for me? Because that's not how it works. It's up to us. We have free will. So we have to really be clear with infinite intelligence that we're not only giving permission, but we are asking. We are asking that this occur for us. We are asking that these thought forms be destroyed on our behalf. For strangers are risen up against me, and oppressors seek after my soul. They have not set God before them. Selah. Let's break this one down. Strangers risen up against me. The stranger that's risen up against you is the imposter thought form in your mind. The ego is an imposter. The ego is not real. The ego is part of our mind. It's a habit of thinking that we've fallen into that is programmed to try to prove to us everything that's not true about ourselves and the world. And it's really good at it. It's really good at it. And as a result, since we are so powerful, the magical truth of who we are is that our thought forms create experience in our lives. So when the imposter thought forms are creating experiences in our lives, they are creating experiences that are not true. They are not of God, if you will. They are not divine. And since they are not of God and they are not divine, ultimately they are not real. But in our experience, they are real. In the nightmare that they are concocting for us, they are extremely real. And so we are being very clear here that those imposter thought forms have risen up against us, and oppressors seek after our soul. That's what the ego is all about, is to prove that you don't have a soul, that you're all alone, that there is no infinite intelligence, that it's just you, and you have to protect yourself against all of these problems. But what the ego doesn't want you to ever see is that those problems are problems that the ego has projected for you to try to prove to you how bad you are, and how not good enough you are, and how unholy you are, and how unsafe you are, and how bad this world is, etc., etc. And so we believe in what the ego tells us because the ego projects those things, and they come back to us as experience and form. And so what we want to be able to do is stand up to the forms in our experience and stand up to these experiences that we are having that are awful and say, you aren't real. You aren't the will of infinite intelligence. So therefore you have no substance. And it says, they have not set God before them, Selah. And that's the trick right there, is if it's not of God, it can't exist, even though it seems real, even though it's convincing, even though you can feel it with your hands, or you can hear it with your ears, you can see it with your eyes. It's not real if it's not of God. So if those thought forms have not set God before them, then this experience is not real, therefore it can be destroyed. And that's what we're asking the strength of God to do for us. That warrior angel, that Samael, that Gebura, the strength of God, that Mars energy, destroy these thought forms, destroy these experiences for me. He shall reward evil unto mine enemies, cut them off in thy truth. Now, from our perspective here, in this limited universe, it seems like this big war of Armageddon is going on. But it's not. From infinite intelligence's perspective, none of this is happening. And so all that's happening is that when it seems as though infinite intelligence is cursing these thought forms and destroying these thought forms, from the world, that's what it seems like is happening. And definitely from the point of view of those thought forms, it seems like that's what's happening. But from God's point of view, none of that's happening. All that's happening is that you're waking up from a bad dream. So infinite intelligence is not sicking Samael on your thought forms, but it appears that way. It seems that way. So it says, he shall reward evil unto mine enemies, and cut them off in thy truth. So cutting off the illusions in favor of truth. So instead of thinking of this as being this horrible war that you have to go through, you are recognizing, oh, it's just being cut off. It's like flipping on the light switch and noticing that the darkness wasn't real. That's what's happening. And so infinite intelligence is just cutting these thought forms down. And we have to let go of our attachment to them. We have to let go of our addiction to our own negative thought forms. And then it's quick, it's easy, it's instant, and the manifestations disappear for us. I will freely sacrifice unto thee. I will praise thy name, O Lord, for it is good. Now, sacrificing means praising. Sacrificing means spiritual practice. Having a spiritual practice. It doesn't mean that you're going to kill animals for God or something like that. I mean, they used to do that back in the day before they knew better, but that's not what sacrifice is referring to. Sacrifice here is referring to your spiritual practice. That means, yes, I'm going to meditate every day. I'm going to do my thing, whatever your thing is. I'm going to focus on my spiritual practice and let you take care of the rest. I'm going to freely sacrifice unto thee. I will praise thy name, O Lord, for it is good. Now, how do you praise the name of God? Well, we talked about that. What are some of the qualities of God? Let's just take infinite intelligence, knows all, knows everything, omniscient, is pure genius, knows how to handle any situation, no matter what. Now, to praise that quality, to praise the name of God in that regard, is to get enthusiastic about how wonderful that is. Get enthusiastic about how good that is, how grateful you are that there is infinite intelligence that knows everything, that knows how to get you out of any kind of trouble, any kind of problem, no matter what it is. And you can even go beyond that. Just the idea of infinite intelligence creating universes and the intricacies of all the different life forms and these ecologies and all of this wonderful stuff all throughout the universe that science is barely even scratching the surface of. Praising that power, that intelligence, meaning, isn't that amazing? Isn't that wonderful? Getting our minds focused on the qualities of the infinite and how wonderful they are is praising. And when you do that, then you're reorienting your mind and starving out those thought forms that you're trying to get rid of, because those thought forms only exist because we give them our life force, because we pay attention to them, because we feed them. And now we are reorienting ourselves, turning away from those thought forms, and instead getting all of our enthusiastic attention on the names of God or those qualities of the divine. For he hath delivered me out of all trouble, and mine eye has seen his desire upon mine enemies, and mine eye hath seen his desire upon mine enemies. So that's a very powerful verse. Delivered me from all trouble. So when you put something in the past tense in these Psalms, you're getting extremely powerful. You're saying it has happened. It's not like, oh, I hope this happens. No, has happened. I have been delivered out of all trouble, no matter what it is. It doesn't say, well, certain trouble or the easy troubles or the stuff that you deserve to be delivered from. No, all trouble. Absolutely no qualifier there. Whatever the trouble, you have been delivered. And mine eye hath seen his desire upon mine enemies. In other words, I am seeing evidence that these thought forms are destroyed. I'm seeing it with my own eyes. So you can just memorize that verse. Anytime you have any kind of uncertainty about what's going on, or you're afraid that nothing's working for you, you can say, for he hath delivered me out of all trouble, and mine eye hath seen his desire upon mine enemies. Now, it's important to recognize and remember that even though this is in patriarchal language because of the culture out of which these psalms were scribed, that infinite intelligence is not a male deity. So he is just a figure of speech in our language, because we don't have a lot of real gender neutral understandings of divinity in our language. But understand that God is pre-gender. Infinite intelligence is one source, one power. There's only one. It's the force of all that is. And since that's the case, nothing can go up against it. There's nothing that can thwart it. And therefore, one with God is a majority. And whoever God is for, nothing else can be against. And God is for you. And since God is for you in this case, you have nothing to worry about. But your job is to keep your eye on the prize here, and to get through this psalm again and again and again. Keep coming back to this psalm each and every day and letting these truths sink into your deep mind. And you're going to start to see things changing. And more importantly, before that even happens, you're going to start to feel a sense of peace and a sense of certainty about whatever it is that you brought to this psalm. And that sense of peace and certainty is an indicator from your deep mind that the spell that you are casting has taken. And it's just a matter of time before all of the manifestations change to start to conform to that new thought form as those old thought forms die. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. Until next time, blessed be. And let's see if we have any questions here. We do not. So I hope that you can see us in about 20 minutes. We'll be on our premiere over on YouTube. And until then, I am so grateful for you being here, and I can't wait to be with you again. And thank you so much to the amazing moderators, Dre and Heather. And we'll see you very soon, hopefully at our premiere. Blessed be.